Doug, Doug, he's the man, he's from America, no, not Japan. Doug, uses his hands, he's bringing joy to everyone across this land. It's the Doug Show, Doug Show, Doug Show. It's the Doug Show, Doug Show, Doug Show. Doug, Tom Slim, he's the creator of Earthworm Jim. Doug, made me swim inside an ocean till I barked in the bin. It's the Doug Show, Doug Show, Doug Show. It's the Doug Show, Doug Show, Doug Show. It's the Doug Show, Doug Show, Doug Show. It's the Doug Show, Doug Show, Doug Show.
And we're live, everybody. Welcome to the Doug Show, to Doug in Exile. You're sitting here in exile with me, but you're not alone. You're sitting here with a room full of happy patriots. Look at that chat fill up. Boom. All the chats here, they're all waving. They got their little pink hands out. They've got their blue monster open faces out. Welcome, everybody. I see you jury rigged. All my people. We're going to start with, let's get right to it. Thomas Massie, dude, I don't get you. Let's start with that. I don't, this infuriates me. The division in MAGA and Thomas Massie, whatever he is, he's not MAGA. And that's why he earned the total rhino on the thumbnail. Republican in name only. Your actions and your tweets. If a Democrat wrote this, I would not be able to tell the difference between, because there's nothing Republican about it. Here's the tweet. This is why you can't have nice things, guys. This is why you can't shore up the vote. To Thomas Massie, who's just about the reducing the debt. This is why you can't reduce the debt. If you got on board with the MAGA plan, voted with Trump, gave him what he wanted, passed all his bills, we would get to the debt sooner. We'd be able to reduce it sooner. But you opposed his tariffs. You opposed the big, beautiful bill. So you won't give him wins. You're part of the loss. And then you're wondering why you've thrown gum in all the gears of government. And then you go, the government doesn't work. Trump's not doing what I want. Here's Thomas Massie on Twitter. This is in response to this Associated Press breaking. Trump says the U.S. has seized an oil tanker, which is today's headline, off the coast of Venezuela amid mounting tensions with the Maduro government. And then Thomas Massie writes, still believe this is about drugs? Remember when Trump said he was going after drugs and now he's going after oil? It's really about oil. That's Thomas Massie. That's every Democrat. And I'm for primarying him, but remember my rule is you have to replace him with someone who can win. House of Representatives in Kentucky. Give me a name. We'll fund him. We'll vote for him or her. Put him in office, kick Thomas Massie out. But I will take even a Thomas Massie rhino who does nothing for MAGA over a Democrat that wins. If we put in two candidates and they end up canceling each other out, then a Democrat gets in office, no bueno. I'll show you why. Because the Democrats are 100% united. They know what a party is for. Thomas Massie does not. He's a showboater, independent guy. So here's one of the tweets. This is a cartoon in support of Thomas Massie because this part of MAGA are all anti-Israel. So here's Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's got the snake, the don't tread on me snake, the little cartoon here on her chest. She's tug-of-warring. And look, it's Lindsey Graham wearing a Jew symbol. He's Israel. He's pro-Israel. We knew it. They control everything. By the way, this is Stone Toss. This is a very good cartoonist, and I consider them an ally. But, you get too libertarian, and suddenly they think the Jews control everything. I'll tell you one thing, guys. The Jews don't control anything. It's a lie to say the Jews control anything. Then down here is Trump is polling with Lindsey Graham, and Marjorie Taylor Greene's going, huh? Why is Trump polling with Lindsey Graham and Israel? So that's another Thomas Massie thing. Here's Owen Schroyer. We need that tug of war meme with Massie against the military industrial. So guys, these are lazy, easy arguments. Owen Schroyer, another patriot who I consider, but he's wrong on this. Everyone just automatically goes, it's the Rockefellers. It's the military industrial complex. It's Israel. It's the blacks. It's the Mexicans. These are lazy arguments. They're not thinking. Really, Trump, who ran on no foreign wars, is for the military industrial complex. You should see all these guys, all these people screaming when Trump and Hegseth got another $9 billion to build our military after Biden shrunk it, to rebuild planes, ships, army, drones, and bombs. Break things. Why? Because the human heart is evil. And if you let your guard down in America, if you do not build up the military, China will attack. Russia will attack. Mexico will attack. Iran, terrorists will attack. They have to just be afraid of just what you spend on the military. So now there's Trump is in the military industrial complex now. This guy pushes back Jack Lombardi. He's another patriot I like, and I happen to agree with on this one. The Monroe Doctrine's a thing, Congressman. Reminding Massie, the Monroe Doctrine is real. The ship smuggles oil for Iran and Hezbollah, says Josh Peterson. Correct. The oil, it's not about oil, Thomas Massie. We're sitting on a ton of oil here in America. It's not about oil, you fool. Why would you say that? Just to gain a little traction against Trump and MAGA. That's what I don't understand. That's my beef. I don't know what side Thomas Massie's on. He knows this tweet's true. The skipper of the boat was previously known as the MT Odessa, according to ship tracking data. The Odessa was sanctioned by the U.S. in 2022. Sanctioned 3 years ago. It meant nothing under Biden. They can sanction it all they want. Over accusations of belonging to a sophisticated network of shadow tankers that smuggled crude oil on behalf of Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Are those good guys? Or is this Israel again? And Lebanon's Hezbollah militant group. So now we're defending the Osama bin Ladens of the world. The people that smacked 2 planes into our buildings in New York, which, by the way, Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all these people probably think was an inside job. The Jews contacted George Bush, and George Bush contacted his buddy Dick Cheney, and Dick Cheney said, I'm invested in Halliburton, and so start a war, because one thing I know, if we start a war, I'll make a lot of money, and there'll never be any backlash. So George Bush hired a consultant to plant charges all over the 2 towers, and then got these radicals to what? Smack planes into 2 buildings and the Pentagon and fly one down into the ground. Bush hired guys, to take these charges and plant them on all these floors. It was a controlled demolition, they said. But now you're agreeing with Rosie O'Donnell, who said metal I-beams don't melt at this level. So those of you who are repeating that, do you know who you sound like now? You sound like Rosie O'Donnell. Well, I'm not Rosie O'Donnell. Yes, you are. Sorry. I've just lost hundreds of subscribers saying this. I'm shocked how many of my audience is carrying Rosie O'Donnell's water. Okay, smart guy. Yeah, Bush, that's what he did. That's the kind of guy Bush and Dick Cheney are. Okay. And the Jews. They would blow up their own building in New York, and they thought, this is a genius plan. This is going to work, guys. We're going to go into war and make money and build the military-industrial complex. Thomas Massie. Trump wants oil. It's not about drugs, according to Thomas Massie. It's about oil. Trump just wants free oil that we didn't pump. He took over that vessel. To what? Steal oil from Venezuela, you moron? You don't think he's trying to, as the article said, put pressure on Venezuela? And they're selling that oil also to China. The network was reportedly run by, get this, a Switzerland-based Ukrainian oil trader. Fact. So now Thomas Massie is defending the Switzerland-based Ukrainian oil trader. Now you're pro-Ukraine? Is that what you and Margie Taylor Greene are saying? The U.S. Treasury Department said at the time. There you go. Yeah, we actually have a ton of oil in the United States. We don't need to seize ships just to get a little extra. Ashley, I don't know if you're thinking or not, but you're actually making my argument. We have so much oil that no, Trump does not need to take over an oil ship just to get more oil. That's not why he did it. Think about it for a second. I don't think people think. Does that strategy make sense to any of you? Do all these plans make any sense to any of you? Is what I want to know from the chat. I think I've got the smartest chat in the world because I help you guys. I just inform you. I just give you the facts, then you guys decide. I'm helping you think. It's just like think. Think about it for more than a second, guys. Yeah, smash that like button. We got to get some likes in here. We only have 1,000 watchers. But with your likes, by the way, because this is my 4th video, shout out to the Quad Club, my people that watch all 4 videos a day. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 2. But all 4 videos a day, all the way to the end, you're in my Quad Club. Shout out to you guys. You guys keep the lights on. But give us a thumbs up and it pushes the videos out. Some of you don't get notifications for these live streams because YouTube will only send you 3 notifications a day. So guess what happens if I post 4 things in a day? You only get 3 because they don't want any one channel just spamming you with notifications in your YouTube feeds. So sometimes you're going to have to do a search and just put in the search in the little magnifying glass, Doug in Exile, to find my channel and find the content. Those are the rules. Speaking of rules, were you aware that they tried to impeach President Trump today? Watch this. Breaking House. This is the House killing an impeachment bill to try to impeach President Trump.
The yeas are 237, the nays are 140, and there are 47 voting present. The motion is adopted without objection. The motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
The motion was to stop the impeachment. Okay. What is this? 237 to 140. So they killed it. Trump got 237 votes to kill the impeachment. And the Democrats were united, all of them, 140 of them were Democrats. Here's the Grok numbers based on reports from Politico. Axios and Fox News on the December 11th, 2025 House vote. All Republicans voted yay on the motion to table or kill the impeachment resolution against President Trump today. No Republicans voted against it. So the Republicans were all united, no matter how rhino they are. They all go, no, we're not going to impeach Trump. The 140 nay votes all came from Democrats who wanted to proceed with the impeachment. So just so you guys know what the Democrats are going to do, if they take over this House, what are they going to do in 2026? They're going to, in one voice, united, impeach President Trump. And with impeachments, they could remove him from office, which I'm fine with President Vance, but they will charge him and basically throw him in prison for life is what they want to do. They're going to keep impeaching him, guys. They are not even Democrats. They're not even for a Democrat vote. These people, they hate your country and they're nuts against President Trump. just really screws with their head. Their head Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. Yeah. 140 communists. Holy wolf. Thank you. $10 super chat. Hillel and Jesus agree. Love God and love one another. Yeah, we're going to get into some Jesus at the end of this episode for Christmas, but we got a ton of news in the meantime. Keep those thumbs up coming, guys. We're already up to 1,100, almost 1,200 people now just because you gave me a thumbs up. You know what to do. Just get it over with. Let's get us some subscribes in there. My subscribers. Holy smokes. I think I lost 400 subscribers this month. It's okay. I'm going to keep doing the news the way it's done, guys. I give you the facts. If you disagree, you can tell me in the chat. You're not required to unsubscribe, But I have a feeling it's a bunch of bots that subscribed, and you see them pump in the chat. You'll see them make death threats against the president and stuff, because with a death threat in my chat, they can then report the channel and try and get my channel taken down. That's why the bots are there. The anti-MAGA bots are there. The anti-Israel bots are there. That's exactly what they're doing. Jury rigged. Merry Christmas, $100 super chat. By the way, brother, thanks for that $100 super chat yesterday. Beloved Miss Snaple and I and that couple from church, we had a blast. We had steaks. I had a filet mignon. So thank you. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. Trust the faith, true. Not the theory, true. Ask Jesus for the answer, true. Trust the faith. Faith, by the way, the word faith, it literally just means trust. It's what you put your trust in. Some people say, I don't have faith. No, you have faith. When you sit in a chair, you have faith in it. You trust it will be there. That's all it means. That's all faith is. It's not hocus pocus. It's real. We have, and I have faith, a lot of faith, not ultimate faith, but I have a lot of faith in the American patriot. I have a lot of faith in my country. I have a lot of faith in the general goodwill of the American people. Here's Trump ripping on Grassley. Blue slips are making it impossible to get great Republican judges and U.S. attorneys approved to serve in any state where there is even a single Democrat senator. Now, blue slips, that's a complicated term. It's just a complicated political theory that they can remove if they wanted to. What's this? Look, clam ye face. Look, clam ye face. Okay. Thank you for that super chat. If they impeach, it will never pass the Senate unless they get a supermajority. True, which is unlikely. Also true. Impeachment equals indictment only, not conviction. Yeah, and it would take another step to remove him from office. That's all true. But look, we could have a complete blowout for all I know. I don't know how powerful these people who are splitting MAGA are. I know they're well-funded. If they say no, then it's over for the very well-qualified Republican candidate. Only a really far-left Democrat can be approved. It is shocking that Republicans, this is about our division, guys, Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the naysayers, Rand Paul. It is shocking that Republicans under Senator Chuck Grassley allow this scam to continue, so unfair to Republicans and not constitutional. I am hereby asking, now listen to this, guys. I follow Trump. I'm hereby asking Senate Majority Leader John Thune, a fantastic guy. I'm just cutting off the chat now because I already know what you're going to say about John Thune. That's not what Trump is saying. Trump has to work with the guy. A fantastic guy. So my opinion on John Thune, he's a fantastic guy. To get something done, ideally the termination of blue slips. Too many great Republicans are being sent packing. None are getting approved. President Donald Trump. You ain't seen nothing yet. Dressed 9/11, $5 super chat. Thank you. What does that mean? What are we going to see coming up? Here is More from the Republican National Convention research. The DNC just unanimously passed a resolution saying Democrats should refuse to negotiate with Republicans on health care. They're passing their resolutions. Reminder, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer repeatedly said they shut down the government because they wanted to negotiate with Republicans. All lies. We know that if a Democrat is saying it, it's a lie. They don't care about kids. They don't care about health care. They only want Trump to lose because they're psychotic with their Trump derangement syndrome. Let's watch this.
And this resolution just reminds those that this is something that should not be negotiated. Yes, politics, and there are some areas where we can talk around it, talk through it, negotiate. But this is one area that should not be negotiated. This is like negotiating with someone with how much air they breathe in. This is, healthcare is a basic right, just like the air we breathe in, air we breathe.
Is healthcare a basic right, just like the air we breathe? How come it's not in the Declaration of Independence? Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and healthcare. That's what Democrats say it is a right, like you have, like the air to breathe. Are you guys going to protect your right to healthcare like you protect the right to air you breathe for an unborn baby that's coming down the birth canal? And then you guys chop it up and throw it down the sink?
And this resolution just reminds those who are leading us, who are serving us, that there are just some things that you just have to, stand firm on.
You just have to stand firm on healthcare. They're not going to negotiate. They're going to shut down the government, gang. Are you ready for it? They're going to shut down the government to get Obamacare funded. That's the plan. They don't have another plan. They don't have another win, and they'll be running on it starting January. Remember, that continued resolution bill is going to end its funding of the government, and they're going to go, look, we're not going to open the government back up unless you fund Obamacare. And Trump's got, who else is going to be against the continued resolution bill? Guys like Thomas Massie, Rand Paul, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republicans with a narrow majority. That's why you can't get nice things. Here's Caroline Leavitt smacking down CNN's Caitlin Collins on the funding of healthcare.
Military. Mary.
It now seems all but certain that the Obamacare subsidies will expire at the end of the year. It means more than 20 million Americans are now bracing for their health care costs to soar. Is the president prepared to let this happen, or is he going to step in?
Is the president going to allow Obamacare to go unfunded at the end of this year? Why is it the president's fault? By the way, that's not Caitlin Collins. That's some other gal. Frankly, much prettier.
The president is prepared to take action on health care, and he wants Republicans on the Hill to do the same. As you have seen, Senate Republicans put forth their own legislation earlier this week. As for the subsidies that are set to expire, I would like to remind you and everybody at home why this is on the brink of happening. Democrats wrote Obamacare. They passed it without a single Republican vote, and then they ballooned it with these expensive COVID subsidies that completely distorted the health insurance market. And then they doubled down, extending those subsidies and setting their own expiration date right now in 2025, which the administration is obviously well aware of. And we are working, the president is working with his healthcare policy team here at the White House, as well as Republicans on Capitol Hill, to find a solution.
He said he's working to find a solution. He wants to see a solution to lower healthcare costs.
He does.
But these subsidies are expiring at the end of the year. So what is the plan, and what is he going to do to put this in place in the next 2-3 weeks?
You're going to have to, it's impossible for Trump to clean up the Obamacare mess. It's got its claws deeply in it. So Trump's got 2 to 3 weeks. The Republicans are supposed to get together with their own plan to replace the Affordable Care Act in 3 weeks with a split Republican Party. And even the premise alone that health care should be an American right and everyone should get it funded by the government. So now they just want a Obamacare replaced with a Republican care from a single payer, communist, Obama style of healthcare to a Republican communist style of healthcare. Because so Trump tried doing we're going to get into the health saving plan that also got shot down today. The healthcare savings accounts. Trump's at least trying to go, look, you can put your money into a healthcare savings account and you can shop it and you can buy whatever plan you want. You don't have to do the government plan. You can do a private plan and cross state lines even if you want. Look, someone gifted 5 Doug in Exile memberships. Gifted, dressed 911. If you guys want a membership, there's a couple that are available. They're being gifted by these people buying them for you. I don't know how those are doled out. I hope you guys are able to handle that on your own. Thank you. That's very kind.
More from the president and from the White House on that very soon. As for wanting a solution to lower healthcare costs, I'm glad you said it because the president is doing just that. He has made unprecedented progress towards lowering healthcare costs in this country and drug prices. He's secured numerous most favored nation drug price deals with many more to come. As you know, the One Big Beautiful Bill, the working family tax cut, significantly expanded access to health savings accounts for those on Obamacare. Again, a Democrat written program and approved program, which has led to higher healthcare costs in this country.
There you go. Trump can only do so much, guys. The president's not a magic wizard. He's not a dictator, even though they keep saying he's a dictator. Isn't this proof that Trump is not a dictator? If he can't just wave a wand and remove the Affordable Care Act and privatize health coverage, if he can't do that, well, he's not a very good dictator. If he is one, he can't do much. This totalitarian, authoritarian who can't touch healthcare, can't even fix it. It's so bad. There you go. Scoop, babe, what's up? I like that. Okay, let's keep going. Because wait, there's more. Here's breaking. U.S. Senate rejects Republican proposed solution for Obamacare 51-48. We were off by 3 votes. 51-48. This would have given money directly to the American people in HSA, health savings accounts, as opposed to giving it directly to big insurance companies. The bill was backed by President Trump and shot down. That is why, and the Democrats won't do it. They don't want you to have health care. This would have given you health care, would have fixed it. But they don't want to give you health care. They want to expand government and protect what they expanded. I hope that's clear to you guys, right? Here's Cash Lauren. Boy, this is correct. Rhinos are far worse than Democrats voting with the Democrats. They want to tank the midterms and lose. Got it? Let me look up the vote split. Let me see if Grok has more on this vote over here on the corner. This was December 11th, where a Republican bill to expand health savings account as an Obamacare alternative failed 51-48, short of the 60 votes because we will not overturn the filibuster. Do you guys see how this is all connected now? This would have passed if it was a simple majority. We could have done it. But you need a supermajority because we have a filibuster and we want to end the filibuster. John Thune, Mike Johnson, work on your people, soften them up. Let's break some knees. Short of the 60 votes needed for cloture, despite President Trump's endorsement. President Trump's endorsement means nothing to rhinos. Here you go. Opposition and votes from 3 Republicans. These are the 3 that jacked America over, MAGA over. Senator Rand Paul. Senator Rand Paul. There's a lot of people out there going, I'm a Ron Paul fan. I would scrape that sticker off your truck. Libertarians are terrible third-party jam cars. That's all they do. They've never had enough of the majority to have significance. All they can do is give trouble to the Republican Party. We need them to win. Hey, we need libertarians to vote for Trump and win. But then when they get into office, like Rand Paul, I can't use that kind of language on a show here. Here's the Senate has failed to advance the GOP healthcare plan that would let Obamacare COVID era subsidies expire and instead give some Americans $1,000 to $1,500 in health savings accounts to pay for your own insurance. Wouldn't you like $1,000 to $1,500 for some supplemental insurance, gang? I made the announcement earlier today. This is not a chapter ad read. I'm not doing an advertisement during this thing, but my chapter ad reads on my other shows have brought in $1 million worth of savings to this audience in Medicare. $1 million. Thank you to my audience. I'm here to help save you money. So if you called chapter, then many of you are already getting more than that. It's as if that bill passed. Now we're going to this is a weird one. Guys, I like giving you some non-traditional news, trusting it will be fantastic. This is the head of Palantir. One of the guys at Palantir, these guys build weapons for the United States and for private industry. Palantir CEO, Alex Karp, he's a genius. He's one of Elon Musk's best friends, calling out the targeting of white people in America. What does he mean?
Our country has selective empathy for everybody but working class, particularly white males. So when you look at coverage in mainstream newspapers about the constitutionality of blowing up boats that are bringing fentanyl here, I guarantee you, if that fentanyl was killing people at schools we went to, potentially your kids are going to, it would be constitutional to blow up those boats.
If we were bombing boats that destroyed white people, he guarantees that everyone would agree that it was constitutional. Every Democrat would say it was okay. This is only about the protected status of victimhood. This is Black Lives Matter. This is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's when you love everyone but your own. And even white people are like, yeah, I hate white people. Self-loathing white people, I hate them. That's the liberals.
There is selective instrumental use of empathy that somehow is only applied at the point where it would help
back to the
us.
idea. What about
sorry, you asked the question, you're going to get the full answer you don't want. The full answer you don't want. You brought me on stage. You know what you're getting. Okay.
He's a billionaire, and that's the CNBC liberal guy that you'll see later. He doesn't want him to finish his sentence, but this Alex Karp is a billionaire, so he has to listen to him, the head of Palantir. On selective empathy, we only show empathy to minorities. We do not show empathy to honkies.
And by the way, I'm on stage, and I know a lot of the people on stage sponsoring this are skeptical of me. You know why? I'm on stage here because at Palantir, and I would encourage you to think of this, I divide the world into Palantir, essentially, in Palantir derangement syndrome, Palantir skeptics, and Palantir haters. My biggest fans started off as Palantir skeptics and Palantir haters.
I like this because I often have people that hate me. My biggest fans started not liking me, not liking the music intro, not liking my position, but they listened and I convinced them.
I believe that someday almost everyone in this audience is going to agree with me. You may not like me now, but you're going to agree later.
Everyone's going to agree with them later that singling out whites to hate is not a good thing.
Also tell you something. Look to the left, look to the right. The person you think is offended by this actually agrees with me. That is 100% true.
Okay, well,
okay, sorry. And yeah, it's 100% true.
Good.
And keep that in mind. I'll tell you a secret that I hope the New York Times and the Washington Post doesn't listen to. Okay, sorry.
but wait, I just want to.
That's the CNBC guy. Hey, can we change the subject? He's a white guy, white liberal.
Bring us back to this one issue, which is, no, you talked about the rule of law, and you talked about things being constitutional. And so here we are, we're talking about these boats, for example, that were blown up, right? And whether you have empathy for them or not, given the folks who are getting killed by fentanyl. The question is whether this is being done on a constitutional basis and being done in the right way.
Well,
and if it's not being done in the right way, how do you feel about that?
How do you feel? That's all I care about is your feelings. How do you feel about blowing up Venezuelan drug boats? I feel good about it. If you're shipping drugs and fentanyl into the United States, I feel good about it. How do you feel about a Venezuelan oil ship being taken over? I feel good about it. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel like the Jews are manipulating me into something like Thomas Massie thinks. Or the military-industrial complex. Make sure that you're against your own military, guys. Make sure you're against building up the military because people around the world are basically good and would never hurt us.
Of course, but part of the reason why I like this questioning is the more constitutional you want to make it, the more precise you want to make it, the more you're going to need my product. So you keep pushing on making it constitutional. I'm totally supportive of that. You know, a constitutional, you would need to understand where the things are going, how are they going, under what conditions, where do they belong.
But I'm asking you just as a person on a sort of a moral basis, as a human, when you see people, young people, mothers and fathers and families getting ripped apart with the masks on, with the ICE folks. So what do you think of that?
Of course, but you're at this point you're abusing empathy because I of course don't like that. No one likes that. No American
likes that. I don't like seeing families ripped apart by ICE agents. But who did it? Who did that? The illegal that came over here is why you have to now rip a family apart with an ICE agent. So having empathy and mere empathy for the children or the family in an isolated incident is false reasoning. I'll give you another one. And I just heard it today from all the Candace Owens people that hate Israel. They go, why are we ignoring Gaza? Why are we ignoring what Israel did to Gaza? Israel blew up families in Gaza. Why are we ignoring that? They never bring up October 7th. That Hamas came into Israel, took 1,500 captives, tormented babies and women, innocent people. And then Israel turns around and shoots a hospital because that's where Hamas puts their soldiers. And they go, we have empathy. Where's your empathy for the people shot by the Jews? Imbeciles. Yeah, there we go. Yups. Dressed 911 gets it. Thank you for the super chat. Do you guys see it? I have no love. It's not a big deal for me. I'm going to Israel, by the way. I think in February. I think our family's going to visit. But I don't care. I don't have to make the case that we do what they say. I don't do what anyone says. Trump, it's a lie that you think Trump would do what Israel says. That's what the conspiratorial right always says. It's the juice. I haven't seen one thing that the Jews make us do. They don't have that power. There's a lot of reasons to help other countries. You might be wrong. They might be wrong in helping Israel, or they might be wrong in helping Ukraine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with saying they're wrong. But the idea that they have some kind of a magical influence over us is just wrong. Did you know Ilhan Omar is now being accused of money laundering? The charges are coming. And guys, I could have gotten twice the views if I put Ilhan Omar on the thumbnail. I didn't, to virtue signal to myself. But man, there's a whole lot of you not watching this because I did not put Ilhan Omar on.
Minnesota's 5th Congressional District. And we called together this press conference in the wake of yesterday's article in the Minnesota Reformer about my opponent, Representative Omar. She paid her husband, Tim Minette, $3 million of campaign money. And the way her time in office has given his business access and credibility, as they've misappropriated more than $1 million.
She gave to her brother. Yeah, she gave more than $1 million to her brother. This is Samuels. He's a Democrat saying this against Ilhan Omar. He's probably like He's like a dino, a Democrat in name only. They're all calling him because he's going against Ilhan Omar. They go, we have a dino. Well, I support this dino. Good. Hope you win, Ilhan Omar. Smack her to the ground, expose her, do your oppositional research, and put all of it online.
In money from South Dakota investors. They left workers unpaid and found the funds frozen by the Office of Foreign Assets Control, the U.S. Treasury Department.
Okay, we're going to go on and on. This guy's boring. Dude, you got to pick up your charisma. Hard to follow you. Now here's Harmeet Dillon over on Turning Point USA, which Owen says is the enemy because they're compromised by the Jews. That's why I'm showing them a whole lot on my audience. Here goes. Harmeet Dillon, who I love, works under AG Pam Bondi. The same people that say the Jews are influencing everything also say Pam Bondi's doing a terrible job. And even though Pam Bondi and Harmeet Dillon appear to be almost the only people in this administration working, here she is on the Charlie Kirk show.
So yes, I'm in the news this week because there are hundreds of disgruntled former Civil Rights Division lawyers who voluntarily quit. I didn't fire them after I told them that their job was going to be to protect the civil rights of all Americans, not just the chosen few.
She just flushed out all the Democrats from her own department just by saying we're going to emphasize the law, and they all quit. So she didn't have to fire them. They did you a huge favor. I'm a little angry that she didn't fire them yet.
And their pet projects that they had been pursuing for decades here in the Civil Rights Division, 200 of them or so.
Hold on. I don't like pointing out my people, but they said the Jews killed Jesus. No, they didn't. That is another false argument told by these people. I'm going to shut that down, that caca down right now. Jesus said, no one takes my life unless the Father wills it, and I lay my life down freely. The Jews did not have the power to kill Jesus. I should say that's not the ultimate cause. And if in your little worldview, you go, who broke into that car? Well, there's a black guy living in this neighborhood. And one thing I know, it's that black guy. That's exactly what you just said. When there's multiple possibilities of who killed Jesus, Rome, Pontius Pilate, God himself probably killed Jesus, and because he sacrificed, he gave his son, guys. Not the Jews took his son. God gave his son. That's John 3:16. And since we're straightening this stuff out at Christmas, the devil probably wanted Jesus killed also, which is why he had Judas betray him. Judas also contributed to killing Jesus. So, but when there's all these different people and the only one that you call out is the Jews killed Jesus, it says more about you than about who actually killed Jesus.
Immediately quit and took a 5-month payout, so over $100,000 worth of severance pay. And then over the last few months, another close to 100 have quit. And yet, they're writing in the press, Reuters covered it, and they say that I'm trashing the DOJ. I've changed its mission. I'm making attorneys do stuff they don't want to do. And it's against the storied, historic vision of the DOJ. But I completely disagree. I'm really proud of the work that we're doing. And obviously, It seems obvious to me that the United States Department of Justice should be justice for all Americans, not just some Americans or some winners of a victimhood sweepstake.
Boom, the winners of the victimhood sweepstakes. She's talking about the blacks under the civil rights law. Because she's the one protecting the Civil Rights Act of 1964, saying that it's wrong to uniquely carve up districts that benefit blacks, like in Texas. Black Democrats is what she means. And they went before the Supreme Court, and that one is likely to fail on those grounds. Being pro any race, you cannot divide America up by your ethnicity or your DNA. That's not what America is, including blaming things on the Jew DNA. How's that? By the way, Harmony Dillon, here's a little factoid you won't get from another channel. She knitted that sweater. She's an avid knitter and a professional, near expert level knitter. When you see her wear a sweater, she usually knitted it herself. Now, this one's a funny tweet. She cracked me up. She went to the Republican or whatever the Christmas party is. And this is what Harmeet Dillon says. People, don't talk shop at holiday parties. She's yelling at everybody because they come up to her and they start talking policy. Don't ask me about that long email you sent in August. It's barbaric. Have some decency. I love this woman. Harmeet Dillon. I once reached out to her when she was going to be the head of the RNC, and she emailed me back. I said, you want to be on my show? She goes, nah, I like you, but I don't know if I'm going to come on your show. That's all. So, but she was nice to me. She answered me. Here's Sohrab Ahmari. This is on all the Candace Owens stuff. I love Sohrab Ahmari. The online right has created, this is about 30% of us guys, has created this vast soap opera meets the X-Files extended universe around Charlie Kirk, his widow, his shifting Israel politics, Bat-S theories of his death, etc. The mainstream right, this is my concern, guys. This is why I'm bringing this tweet to you, because this is a new breakthrough today. The mainstream right, CBS News, that's Barry Weiss just took over that institution, is getting in on it. So now it has gone from the little loopy right within MAGA that are pro Alex Jones, although he's gone easy on this, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, and Candace Owens. It is now spilled into CBS. So now this thing has legs. Now it is the greatest threat, or one of the great threats, to keep Republicans from winning in 2026. How's that? Now it's bubbling into mainstream right. Is the country bored of it yet? Here's a great meme. This guy's looking at the Inquirer. Ooh, tabloid. There you go. Here's another one. This is a great post from Joel Berry of the Babylon Bee. I like this guy. He quotes 2 Timothy 3:6-7. Now we're doing Jesus stuff, guys. Merry Christmas. Here goes. These are the kind of who worm their way into homes and gain control over gullible women who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires, always learning, but never coming to a knowledge of the truth. Always, I'm just asking questions. Now, this is my favorite thing I found today. This one blew my mind. There are whole books on theology that don't get anywhere near these thoughts from Napoleon Bonaparte on Jesus. Did you guys know that Napoleon weighed in on Jesus? Because I was not aware of that. I can't get any closer on that one. Can I get a view zoom in on this one here? Zoom in? No. Here's what I bet you guys didn't have that on your bingo card. It's Christmas in Exile, guys. So we're gonna hear from Napoleon Bonaparte. He says, Alexander, Caesar, Charlemagne, and I myself have founded great empires. But upon what did these creations of our genius depend? Oh, upon force. Jesus alone founded his empire upon love. And to this very day, millions will die for him. Napoleon is impressed. I think I understand something of human nature. And I tell you, all these were men. I am a man. None else like him. Jesus Christ was more than a man. I have inspired multitudes with such an enthusiastic devotion that they would have died for me. But to do this, it was necessary that I should be visibly present with the electric influence of my looks, my words, or my voice. When I saw men and spoke to them, I lighted up the flame of self-devotion in their hearts. Christ alone has succeeded in so raising the mind of man toward the unseen that it becomes insensible to the barriers of time and space. Across the chasm of 1,800 years, Jesus Christ makes a demand which is beyond all others difficult to satisfy. He asks for that which a philosopher may often seek in vain at the hands of his friends, or a father of his children, or a bride of her spouse, or a man of his brother. He asks for the human heart. You go, Napoleon, here we go. He will have it entirely to himself. He demands it unconditionally, and forthwith his demand is granted. Wonderful! Exclamation point. In defiance of time and space, the soul of man, with all its powers and faculties, become an annexation to the empire of Christ. All who sincerely believe in him experience that remarkable, supernatural love toward him. This phenomenon is unaccountable. It is altogether beyond the scope of man's creative powers. Time, the great destroyer, is powerless to extinguish this sacred flame. Time can neither exhaust its strength nor put a limit to its range. This is it, which strikes me most. I have often thought of it. This it is which proves to me quite convincingly the divinity of Jesus Christ. That's Napoleon Bonaparte. Are you a believer? Do you believe? It's Christmas time. I just want to let you guys know that the music we play around Christmas, it's not just nothing to me. Giving presents, nothing to me. I'm celebrating Jesus' defiance of time and space, and what he asks of you, because he gave everything, came as a baby, died on a cross. We'll get to that at Easter. Resurrected from the dead to save you from your sins. He gave everything, and he demands your all. Are you a believer? Does he have you? To my chat, my Christians in the chat, does he have you? 1,400 people left. Yeah, I believe. That's all you got to do. It is belief. It is belief. It is belief. That is it. One day you won't believe and you can't believe. I don't believe that stuff. And then suddenly you find yourself believing it. And that's because God picked you out of the fire and saved you. That's what we celebrate at Christmas. All the songs. Oh, we were cast in darkness and judgment and doom. John 3:18 says, the world stands condemned already. That's right after John 3:16. He didn't come into the world to condemn the world because it was already condemned, guys. It's already the bad news. Bad news. But even a Frenchie, even a French scoundrel dying of syphilis like Napoleon Bonaparte saw it. And he believed in the divinity of Jesus. I believe he'll be up there in the great beyond. And that's another thing we celebrate. How are you all doing in the chat? How are my people? Are you seeing yet? There's a divide in MAGA. We got to look. I'm not going to go over to Candace Owens' side. I welcome Candace Owens to come and join MAGA and vote with us. But the damage she's doing is an absolute poison. Thomas Massie, too. I'm not going to go over to Thomas Massie's side and say Trump is just after oil with his military industrial complex. I'm not going to go to your side because you're dead dog wrong. You can come over to my side. Vote with us. Same way with your judgment against God and Jesus. You can go, you know what? When God appears to me, then I'll believe. He can come and manifest himself. He can talk to me. He can tell me. He can just say, I'm here. He can write on the wall miraculously. Doug, it is me. I am here. Well, that's you demanding God come over to your side. You go, God, I demand you, the creator of me, to come over to my side as if I was the judge and I was the creator. And he goes, no, you come over to my side. So first we know the truth, and I do know the truth. I know pretty, with probably, I would say 90% certainty that Trump is not taking over a Venezuelan oil vessel to get oil. It does not make sense. It doesn't make sense that Trump is funding our military because he's under the military industrial complex and just want to expand the military to use it against our own people. From what I know of the guy took a bullet, stood up and said, fight. That was my litmus test. That was my science. I go, after that, because he could have cowered. He could have said, yes, everybody, pile your bodies on me and I'll just cower and I'll crawl off the stage, all hidden and quiet underneath, a bulletproof glass or whatever. He didn't do that. He stood up. Other people could have shot him. And he, with blood off his face, he said, fight. That puts him in a different category than Thomas Massie. Charlie Kirk also took a bullet in the neck and died. And the MAGA people that think it's cute to defile his bride, his widow, and say that she was in on it, or and I had a bunch of comments going, Doug, Candace never said that. Yes, she did. I went and looked up the video where she's implying that he had a notebook, and she's going, they're hiding behind a notebook, and it was all Scooby-Doo conspiracy. So that is a dangerous thing in MAGA. We need to bring those Democrats and rhinos, Candace Owens Democrats and rhinos, back into the fold and unite us. Why isn't Trump right now from the podium shouting what Candace Owens and Thomas Massie are saying? Because that's not MAGA. That's not the MAGA agenda. Trump is the MAGA agenda. He tells you exactly what he wants you to do every day. And I study it, and then I bring it to you. Here's the one. I watch Candace every day. She did not say that. Well, you're a believer. I'm not going to get in an argument with you, but I saw it myself. So, yeah, she is mentally ill or evil. I actually hope she does not believe what she says, or I feel really sorry for her. I think she's insane if she actually believes it. I don't think she actually believes it. I think she's a businesswoman, and this is her product, and she's getting money and success. And the same thing with Fuentes. Fuentes says Hitler is great. He says Stalin is great. He says women want to be abused and never get married. I don't think he actually believes it. He's actually arguing against his own existence because his parents had him. I don't think he actually believes that. I think he gets a lot of attention and money for it. That's what I think. Jury rigged, $100 super chat. Thank you, brother. You have my support. I think you make a difference. I hope so. I'm just making the case. And again, I want people to argue with what I said, Look at this one. Here's the same person who just now said that Candace Owens didn't say that stuff. No bit Snowshoes says, go suck Israel. You are a liar. Do you guys in the chat think I'm under Israel's power? Even this argument, this is so typical of them. This is what, to those of you who think I'm a liar or whatever, I just want you to see the basic argument. This is what they talk like. Oh, Doug, you're just magically. How did I know that somehow Israel would be why I think something? You're just you blow Israel. You're a liar. Okay. It's Israel. You got me. And the military industrial complex and the Rothschilds and the Illuminati. It's the Jews. You got me, guys. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, of course, you guys know better. That's why you're in my audience. That's why you guys are in my audience. He's been deleted. No, well, I'm iffy on that to my moderators. I guess it's okay. I don't like deleting people who disagree, but at the same time, I don't want a stock raving lunatic to just be posting that kind of spew in our chat and then have you guys have to rate it and argue with it all day and suddenly change this community from being a serious discussion about MAGA issues to asking if I'm blowing the Jews. Stupid. But I just want you guys to know, I don't fear the disagreement. It's not the disagreement part. Yeah, my Savior is Jewish. Jesus was Jewish. Sure. A lot of Judaism and Christianity. I'm way less pro-Jew than most Christians are. How's that? That's how non-following Judaism I am. I am going to Israel in February. I'm going to visit. And guys, I'm going to turn on the camera and we're going to do shows from Israel. And all of those people are going to go, what are you doing in that? I knew you were controlled opposition. I'm going to be eating falafel, hanging with my pastor and fellow Christians and the beloved Miss Tenaple and my brother-in-law, also named Doug, who's half black. So I'm hanging out with a half black man in Israel. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be throwing down black. We're going to be throwing down family, throwing down Christianity. It's going to be cool. I can't wait. So now you guys are aware of this ongoing, very large discussion in MAGA. It's very serious. It is religiously believed. I'm not going to go to war with Candace Owens. She's another influencer and she's entertaining product. Okay. So I'm not going to ever be able to fight that with an audience this small. If I was Joe Rogan, I might be able to stomp her, but it's still, you have to convince the people. You have to influence people with ideas. And I keep making my case and the way they act just falls right into place. Sorry, guys. I did my research and that's bad news for you if you're trying to get me to go against the truth. Well, thanks guys for hanging with me. I got to go have dinner and I can't have carbs because I'm low carb. So the beloved Miss Tenaple made spaghetti. So I'm eating the sauce and the meat only. And then we're going to watch Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King tonight because we watched Two Towers last night and then we watched Fellowship of the Rings the night before. It was wonderful. Oh, my Fix-It man, Ben, came and did measurements on the painting over there, 4 foot by 3 foot. He is hand building a frame. I really wanted the frame to be built by a friend because it's a gift to the pastor. I will show you guys the painting and the process. I recorded it all. I'm going to put together a little documentary. You all will see my oil painting skills. I will diarrhea of the mouth, all of my theory on art, oil painting, painting my pastor, what it looks like, how I did it. But it's going to be beautiful. So I'm really, and my Fix-It man, Ben, while he was here, he also checked out the beloved Miss Naples, my shower drain, which is clogged, running slow. And I've run more drain opener down that thing, a whole jug, 5 times, and it's still pretty slow. Use the plunger in there every day, trying to plunge that drain. It is not giving it up. So he's going to have to dismantle that thing. But that's what I'm doing personally, guys. Love you all. Remember what I said about Christmas. One day, you may not believe, but I'm asking you to think about your sin. You're going to stand at the end of life and you're going to say to God, either I'll take care of this and I'll pay for it, and you stand condemned. Or you say, Jesus, I cannot pay for what I am. a dead man walking, and you ask him, you go, pin it to the cross, buddy. I'm putting this on you. Every week when I take communion, I imagine when I eat that bread and drink that wine, I imagine Jesus being tormented in my place. So one day, if you repent and you believe that, that's it, guys. It's not hard. You don't have to work. It's not your work, okay? It's belief. Thief on the cross. I'm Doug in Exile.